Romania, however, soon, due to a pipeline which is being constructed through the Republic of Georgia. By week's end, Armenia will receive up to 5 million cubic meters of natural gas on a daily basis. This will be enough to sustain the Republic, to keep it afloat. The Romanian official delegation today declared that it will not review previous negotiations with the Azerbaijani team until the opening of the gas pipeline. Baku started the embargo against Armenia due to alleged attacks on the Azerbaijani villages. On November 17th, 18th, another incident occurred near the village of Askipara. Azerbaijani official observers toured the border area today and expressed hope that gas shipments will be renewed to Armenia today. In Minsk, an agreement was signed today between the Kazakh and Belarusian governments. The Prime Ministers signed this document, which oversees the continuation of Republic relations and the creation of a positive environment for increased trade and provision of technical equipment and commodities of general use between the two republics. The two republics will form joint enterprises, including partners from beyond the two republics. Next year, the republics will use mutually beneficial prices. In Kiev, the All-Union Interfaith Forum commenced today. 10 leaders of various faiths assembled here: the Orthodox, Catholics, Protestants, Evangelists, the Jewish faith, Muslims, and others. They discussed problems of the rebirth of spirituality among the people and how to maintain peace between various religious peoples. Interfaith conflicts cause great concern in Ukraine. The chairman of the Ukrainian Supreme Soviet, Kravchuk, greeted the forum and spoke against the artificial politicization of religious relations, naming religious fanatics and government officials as guilty parties for the creation of conflicts between religious faiths in Ukraine. In Moscow, Gorbachev had a session with the board from the Ministry of Foreign Relations. He presented the new head, Eduard Shevardnadze, of the new ministry. Shevardnadze is well known by the participants of the session, and he was warmly welcomed by these foreign ministry representatives. Gorbachev stated that Shevardnadze's return is the logical step given the current situation in the nation. Shevardnadze himself said that he couldn't refuse to serve during this difficult period in Soviet history. President Bush met today with an official from the Political Consultative Council of the Presidency of the USSR, Alexander Yakovlev. They discussed relations between the center and the Soviet republics. They discussed economic cooperation between the Soviet Union and the USA, and also Shevardnadze's appointment as the new Minister of Foreign Relations. President Bush welcomed this decision, saying that he knows Shevardnadze well and respects Shevardnadze. After 3 months of shelling, the city of Vukovar in Croatia has been fully destroyed. More than 1,000 died. After the fall of Vukovar, the new center of conflict in Yugoslavia is the Kanina area, where army and Croatian factions are fighting. Cyrus Vance, as UN representative, met with the Croatian President Tudjman. They reviewed the possibility of introducing UN peacekeeping forces into Yugoslavia. In Phnom Penh, Cambodia, Prince Sihanouk was formally acknowledged as head of state. The prince was always the legal head of state even after the 1978 coup, declared the Cambodian Foreign Ministry, Nam Hook. In 1993, Cambodia will hold national presidential elections. In Seoul today, the annual South Korean-U.S. security consultations were held. Defense Minister Cheney and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staffs Powell were present. The main topics of discussion were North Korean nuclear weapon development, U.S. military reductions in Korea, and South Korean military improvements. In Paris, Mitterrand met with Egyptian President Mubarak. Mubarak was concerned about potential military actions against Libya. Mitterrand confirmed that France, the US, and Britain had solid evidence of Libyan participation in terrorist acts. District judge in Miami stopped the forced repatriation of Haitian refugees. 1,500 refugees were apprehended by the U.S. Coast Guard off the coast of the United States this week. Some fear that this might set a precedent that will provoke a flood of refugees from the Caribbean Sea. 26 died, 50 were wounded due to a freight train accident near the Mexican city of Tehuacan. Most of the victims were in the bus, which was crushed by the speeding train. The accident caused damage to neighboring buildings and was caused by brake problems in the train. Tomorrow, President Yeltsin will visit Germany. He says his main goal is to establish direct contacts between Russia and Germany. Yeltsin noted that he has no plans to speak for the Union or for Union organs. After long debates, German authorities resolved to meet on Thursday with Yeltsin with military honors, as is done to the leaders of independent states, although Germany is still not ready to legally acknowledge Russia's independence. Yeltsin would like to know how Germany will help Russia this winter. That is the main goal of his trip. This visit will also Bonn will also be visited by the Russian Orthodox Church representative, Metropolitan Kirill. Germany hopes to establish German autonomous areas in the Lower Volga region. In Bonn, members of the Volga German Union have had a little optimism. The local Russian population is opposed to German autonomy in the Lower Volga. So it is predicted that the 90% of the ethnic Germans living in the Volga region will probably emigrate. West German officials, however, were more optimistic. Yeltsin's relation to the new union formation is of great interest to German authorities. But Germany, however, is interested in continuing relations both with Russia and with other republics of the former Soviet Union. The Soviet American Anti-Cancer Society is hosting a non-smoking day to help reduce the amount of smokers in the Soviet Union. America has turned into a nation of non-smokers and wish us to be non-smokers also, that is, the Soviet nation to be non-smokers also. These are scenes or various anti-smoking propaganda developed by the Soviet American Anti-Cancer Society. These activities have been very successful in the States and have greatly decreased the rate of smoking in that country. Our smokers, that is, Soviet smokers, might be forced to quit smoking due to tobacco shortages and price increases for tobacco. However, it'd be better to have free will in this decision. Nikolai Nikolaevich, how did you stop smoking? It's the president of the Anti-Cancer Society, Trapeznikov. Nikolai Nikolaevich, I think every person has to come to the decision by himself that he must stop smoking. I came to this conclusion myself. I took a pack of cigarettes and threw it away, and that's how I stopped smoking. I used to smoke 2 packs a day. Sports. At the boxing championship in Australia, 24 finalists